If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Sharing it with your friends and family helps spread knowledge, and when we help others grow, we grow too. Thank you so much for listening. Let's dive into the podcast. The founding and suppression of the Bavarian Illuminati. Picture a candlelit room in 1776. A law professor hunches over his desk, writing secret codes and mysterious names. His pen scratches across paper as he creates something that will shake the world for centuries to come. Adam Weishaupt had grown tired of watching the church control every thought. The University of Ingolstadt felt like a prison where new ideas went to die. On May Day, while others celebrated spring, he birthed something far more dangerous than flowers. He called it the Illuminati. The word meant the enlightened ones. But Weishaupt knew better than to speak openly. In Bavaria, questioning the church could cost a man everything. So he worked in shadows, choosing students who showed promise. Bright minds who whispered about freedom when professors weren't listening. Each new member received a secret name. Weishaupt became Spartacus, after the rebel who fought Rome. They met in hidden places, sharing forbidden books and radical thoughts. The church preached blind faith. The Illuminati demanded proof and reason. Words spread like wildfire through underground networks. Freemason lodges offered perfect cover. Their existing secrecy made them natural allies. Soon, the Illuminati had members across France and Italy. Merchants, doctors, and nobles joined their ranks, each one hungry for change. But secrets have a way of spilling out. Conservative forces watched with growing alarm. These weren't just students playing games anymore. They were organized. They had plans. Intercepted letters revealed shocking ideas about overthrowing old powers. The authorities saw atheism and revolution brewing in every meeting. By 1784, the Bavarian government had seen enough. They banned all secret societies. Raids followed. Members scattered like leaves in a storm. Documents were seized, revealing names and plans. The evidence painted a picture of conspiracy that terrified monarchs across Europe. Weishaupt fled into exile, his revolutionary dream apparently crushed. His papers were published as proof of a grand plot against God and king. Official reports accused the group of promoting suicide and destroying moral order. The Illuminati, they claimed, wanted to tear down civilization itself. Yet something strange happened after the suppression. Instead of dying quietly, the Illuminati grew larger in people's minds. Fear turned them into legends. Whispers spoke of members who escaped, carrying their secrets to new lands. Every unexplained event carried their fingerprints. Every political upheaval bore their mark. The more authorities denied their continued existence, the more people believed they still pulled strings from the shadows. A small group of German intellectuals had become the ultimate boogeyman. Their brief moment in history had planted seeds of mystery that would bloom for centuries. The emergence of the Illuminati as a revolutionary scapegoat. The year was 1797. Blood still stained the cobblestones of Paris. The French Revolution had torn through Europe like wildfire, leaving kings trembling on their thrones. But who was really behind this chaos? Two men across Europe began pointing fingers at shadows. They claimed to have found the answer in the most unlikely place. Abbé Augustin Baruel sat in his study, candlelight dancing across pages of frantic notes. This Jesuit priest had watched his world crumble. Churches burned, nobles fled or died. Something this terrible couldn't happen by chance, he thought. There had to be a plan. Meanwhile, in Scotland, John Robison worked through the night. This respected scientist and professor had heard whispers, strange meetings, secret handshakes, code words passed in darkness. The pieces seemed to fit together like a puzzle made of nightmares. Both men reached the same chilling conclusion. The Illuminati had done this. The same group that had been crushed in Bavaria years earlier had somehow survived. They had grown stronger, smarter, more dangerous. Baruel wrote his accusations in thick volumes that spread across Europe like poison. He painted a picture of master puppeteers pulling strings from hidden rooms. The Illuminati had joined forces with Freemasons, he claimed. Together, they had planned every guillotine blade that fell. Robison published his own warnings. His scientific reputation gave weight to words that might have seemed mad from anyone else. He described secret networks stretching across continents, hidden agents working in plain sight. Neither man offered solid proof. No captured documents, no confessions, just patterns they saw in the chaos. Connections that seemed too perfect to ignore. Their books flew off shelves. Frightened readers passed copies from hand to hand. The stories crossed oceans, reaching America where similar fears already simmered. Political leaders began looking over their shoulders. Religious groups preached about hidden enemies. The accusations grew larger with each telling. Jews were added to the conspiracy. Catholics blamed Protestants. Protestants blamed Catholics. Fear mixed with older hatreds until no one remembered what was real anymore. What started as two men's attempt to explain tragedy became something far more dangerous. They had created a monster made of suspicion and terror. This monster would outlive them both, growing stronger with each generation that feared what lurked in the shadows. The Illuminati had become the perfect enemy, invisible, yet everywhere, defeated, yet victorious, dead, yet immortal. The spread of Illuminati mythology in early America. The whispers reached America's shores like invisible ships carrying dangerous cargo. By the 1790s, rumors of secret societies plotting against governments had crossed the Atlantic Ocean. The young American nation watched nervously as France burned in revolution. George Washington himself felt the weight of these fears. In 1798, he wrote a careful letter to a worried minister. The president denied that Illuminati lodges existed in America, but his very denial showed how seriously people took the threat. Why would the nation's most powerful man waste time answering such questions unless they mattered? Thomas Jefferson faced darker accusations. Political enemies whispered that he belonged to the secret order. They pointed to his friendship with European thinkers. They noted his support for French revolutionary ideas. No proof ever surfaced, but the rumors stuck like tar. Ministers across New England began preaching fire and brimstone about hidden enemies. Jedediah Morse stood before packed churches, warning that foreign agents walked among them. His sermons spread like wildfire through printed pamphlets. People passed them from hand to hand in taverns and town squares. These fears revealed deeper worries eating at the new republic. Immigrants arrived daily from Europe. Who could tell friend from enemy? The French Revolution had shown how quickly order could collapse. What if similar forces worked in secret on American soil? Race added another layer of anxiety. Some whispered that secret societies planned to arm enslaved people. Others feared Catholic immigrants carried foreign loyalties in their hearts. The Illuminati became a perfect explanation for everything that felt wrong or dangerous. The 1820s brought fresh panic when a man named William Morgan vanished. He had threatened to reveal Masonic secrets in a book. When Morgan disappeared, people assumed the Masons had killed him. The anti-Masonic movement exploded across the country like a powder keg. Political leaders joined the crusade against secret societies. They formed the first third party in American history. Their message was simple. No man should hold secret oaths while serving the public. How could voters trust representatives who made promises in dark rooms? Churches rang with warnings about hidden conspiracies. Newspapers printed stories of mysterious meetings and coded messages. The very idea of secrecy seemed un-American to a people who had fought for open government. These movements shaped how Americans would forever view secret societies. They planted seeds of suspicion that would grow for generations. Every unexplained event might hide a conspiracy. Every powerful group might work in shadow. The fear had taken root in American soil. It would never completely disappear. The reinvention of the Illuminati in 20th century counterculture. The year was 1965. Two young rebels sat in a Chicago coffee shop, scribbling wild ideas on napkins. Kerry Thornley and Greg Hill had just created something that would change everything. They called it Discordianism. It was meant to be a joke, a fake religion worshipping chaos and confusion. But jokes have a funny way of becoming real. Their little book, the Principia Discordia, spread like wildfire through the 1960s underground. College students passed around photocopy pages. The message was simple: question everything. Trust nothing. The world is run by secret forces you cannot see. Hidden in their silly writings was something darker. References to ancient secret societies. Whispers about the Illuminati pulling strings from the shadows. What started as satire began to feel true to readers hungry for answers. Then came Robert Anton Wilson, a writer with a twisted sense of humor and a brilliant mind. He took Thornley's wild ideas and made them into something massive. Together, they wrote books that mixed real history with complete fiction. The Illuminatus trilogy became their masterpiece. Readers could not tell where truth ended and lies began. Wilson wrote about the Illuminati as if they were everywhere, controlling banks, starting wars, deciding who lived and who died. He made it sound so real that people began to believe. The book spread through college campuses. Rock stars read them. Artists quoted them. The counterculture movement ate up every word. Here was proof that the system was rigged, that powerful men in dark rooms made all the decisions. Television picked up the story. Movies began featuring secret societies. Comic books showed shadowy figures controlling world events. Each new story added another layer to the growing myth. What made this different from old conspiracy theories? Technology. For the first time, these ideas could spread instantly. Underground newspapers carried the stories. Radio shows discussed them late at night. The Illuminati myth grew stronger with each telling. Young people felt powerless against the Vietnam War and corrupt politicians. The idea that secret societies controlled everything actually made sense to them. It explained why nothing seemed to change, no matter who they voted for. By the 1980s, something strange had happened. The Illuminati had become real again, not as an actual organization, but as a symbol. They represented everything people feared about power and control. Writers kept adding to the story. Each new book or movie made the conspiracy bigger and more complex. The internet was coming soon, and when it arrived, these ideas would explode across the world in ways no one could imagine. The joke had become deadly serious. Modern-day Illuminati conspiracy and digital age amplification. The internet changed everything. What once lived in dusty books and whispered conversations suddenly burst into millions of screens worldwide. The aid myths found new life in the digital age. Sarah clicked on a video at 2 a.m. The title promised to reveal the truth they don't want you to know. Within minutes, she was staring at images of dollar bills, pop stars covering one eye, and triangles hidden in corporate logos. The narrator's voice was urgent, convincing. Everything connected, he said. Everything was planned. This scene plays out thousands of times each day. Social media feeds hungry minds a steady diet of symbols and suspicion. The eye of providence on the dollar bill becomes proof of control. A hand gesture by a celebrity becomes a secret signal. Architecture with triangular designs becomes evidence of hidden meetings. The old secret society that died centuries ago now lives again as digital folklore. But this time, it comes with a price tag. James received an email that changed his life. The message claimed to be from the real Illuminati. They had chosen him, it said. For just $500, he could begin his transformation into wealth and power. The email looked official. It had symbols. It promised everything he wanted. James sent the money. He never heard from them again. These scams multiply like wildfire online. Fake recruitment websites promise riches to anyone willing to pay membership fees. They use stolen symbols and copied text to look authentic. Victims lose thousands of dollars chasing fantasies that never existed. Forums and chat rooms keep the stories alive. Someone posts a blurry photo of world leaders shaking hands. Others analyze every detail, finding hidden meanings in simple gestures. The discussion spreads to video platforms where creators with millions of followers share their theories. Each share adds credibility. Each comment feeds the machine. The algorithm notices engagement and pushes the content to more viewers. Fear and fascination create perfect viral conditions. Real anxieties fuel these digital fires. People worry about inequality, corruption, and loss of control over their lives. The idea of a secret group pulling strings offers a strange comfort. At least someone is in charge, even if they are the enemy. The truth becomes harder to find among the noise. Genuine concerns about power structures get mixed with wild fantasies about reptilian shapeshifters and basement pizza conspiracies. Facts and fiction blur until both seem equally real to those caught in the web. This is how old myths become new realities in the age of information. The very tools meant to educate and connect us sometimes trap us instead in worlds of endless suspicion. Key controversies and alleged Illuminati events in recent history. Something strange happens when tragedy strikes the world. Within hours of shocking events, whispers begin. Fingers point not just at the obvious suspects, but at shadows in the background. The most persistent whispers? They speak of ancient secret societies pulling strings from the darkness. November 22nd, 1963, Dallas. President Kennedy slumps forward in his car as shots ring out. Official reports point to one man with a rifle, but some people see something else entirely. They notice symbols, strange coincidences, numbers that seem to repeat. Soon, theories spread like wildfire through coffee shops and late-night radio shows. The believers point to Kennedy's speeches about secret societies. They examine the route his car took that day. They count the minutes between events. Everything, they claim, follows an ancient pattern, a signature left by those who have controlled world events for centuries. September 11th, 2001. New York City trembles as towers fall. Again, official investigations point to known terrorist groups. Again, some people see hidden hands at work. They study the date. They examine building designs. They ask questions about who knew what and when. These believers find symbols everywhere, in dollar bills, in building layouts, in the timing of major announcements. Each discovery feeds their certainty that nothing this big happens by accident. Someone, somewhere planned it all. But here lies the puzzle that keeps these stories alive. No smoking gun ever appears. No secret documents surface with clear proof. No former members step forward with inside knowledge. The official investigations find no trace of ancient puppet masters. Yet the stories refuse to die. They grow stronger with each passing year. Online forums buzz with new connections. Documentary filmmakers gather fresh evidence. Books climb bestseller lists with bold claims and dramatic revelations. Why do these ideas survive without solid proof? Perhaps because the alternative feels impossible to accept. Random violence, lone gunmen, small groups causing massive damage. For many people, these explanations feel too simple, too frightening. The world seems safer when someone, anyone, maintains control from behind the scenes. The truth remains frustratingly out of reach. Official records say one thing, believers see another. Between these two worlds lies a space where questions multiply faster than answers, where every denied connection becomes proof of deeper secrets, where silence itself becomes evidence of guilt. This tension between what we know and what we fear creates the perfect breeding ground for lasting mystery. The bigger the tragedy, the bigger the questions. And the bigger the questions, the more room there is for ancient shadows to dance.